Um, of all the things we've gone over and done, is there anything you'd like me to uh, do again, review? Anything that when you're playing around, I hope you're playing around with your Inkscape, um, that problems you've run across or things you've learned. There are a few things today I want to show you in Inkscape that I don't think I've mentioned before. So if anyone has any suggestions for next week, I would love to know. Which of the things we have done are you finding most useful? Let me know if there's anything you've been using a lot, anything you haven't been able to do, or are you're still having difficulty adding, oh, the text and numbers on. Okay, okay. I may have to brush up myself on that, but I do have numbers on my diagram. And I did clean up my layers and name them. So, is that all, everybody? How many of you are actually doing any playing in Inkscape? I know you are, Katia. And who else? Janella, I think you are. Well, I'm going to pull up cloning. You finally have it, it's working for you. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. There are a couple things I've noticed with cloning that um, maybe something I'm going to show you tonight will help with that. I did have a question about using Robin Perfetti's tatting in the bay. Anyway, oh, every day, wonderful. I haven't even made it to every day, so hopefully soon I can because I know that'll help me remember everything better and be able to go over things better. Um, so I'm going to open it up right now. Well, I have it open. Let me just pull it up and switch to my screenshot. There we go. It's here. I don't know what here I have cloned and what I don't. Here's where I've been doing my numbers. Let me get my layers palette open. And you can see I have a huge bunch of them. I don't know if I can. And here's one. Here's my numbers one right here. And it's not locked. So as you can see, I can select my numbers. And this group I made to go right there. And then I took it away so I could keep on working with the design without that there because I've had to adjust things a little to get them totally straight and all. And let's see, I'll get my text and font up here. Now for my numbers, it doesn't up here in the upper left tell me like it does when you're typing in text. Let me type in a little text. All you have to do, one of the things I found with the text is that in order to fit your things in, you do want to start out with a decent sized box, but I'll show you how you can adjust the size. Okay. I'm not typing. Why am I not typing? Maybe I have. I'm trying to think, I don't think I need a stroke, but I've got it set on 7.2. I've actually, for a lot of my lines, been trying 0.5. Let's see if I have a fill. Am I not typing? Let's see. I don't think my numbers layer was locked. It's not locked. I have my text tool. Oh, there. I think it's working now because I do have that little diamond in the corner. Yep. Now, this box works a little different than a normal text box because I don't know if this has happened to you, but if you just grab your side and pull, it stretches your text out. And the same thing for here, which is great if you're titling something and want your text to be taller or wider, farther apart, whatever. But what you have to do I got to have my text tool. I've got my text tool here, this bottom red corner, lower right, is where you can change your box size without distorting your text. So maybe that'll help you with your text. As far as the font goes, I'll select it. And yeah, I've got my T up here for my text palette. I just have a sans serif. Let's see if I can select Calibri. Okay, so here this list, and it's long, but I happen to know that, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Calibri is a text I use for a lot of my documents when I'm working in Word. And do you have, what particular things are not working for you or seem difficult with the text? I can't remember what this one does. I think this is for flowing text. I'm going to have to review on that. Now my numbers, I'm just going to pull them down here. I think they're just the same. Oh, I know. Let me go back on my text. And there are things up here that I'm going to open up my box a little more, get my text tool again. Different things you can do with your text. If you double click in it, you can select a word or triple click to get the entire area selected. You can just select, this works pretty much like Word or other programs, except for the way you widen your box. And up here in the upper left corner, it does show the font I'm using. And this drop down, here's where you can pick a different font too. You got a couple different places. Now this one doesn't show you anything about how it looks. Whereas this one, let me open up wider. If you go down here, you're going to see that it does show you that this font is really tiny, just in its natural state. It does show you a sample of what it's going to look like. Oh, either too small or too big. Okay. So let's go back to my numbers here. Oops, I want to move this out of the way for now. And this little SS that I must have done and didn't know it. I made some copies. Okay, so this font, I'm trying to remember exactly what sizes it is, and I'm not seeing it up here. Text tool. Let me see how. One of the things I want to mention today, and let's see if it works on the text at all or the numbers at all. Oh, here we go. Now I've got my number selected. It's giving me it's a sans serif, just a plain sans serif font. And again, you've got your drop down, normal, italic, bold, italic. Now you don't have all the paragraph choices but you do have some over here, like left and right aligned, although I don't usually use those for text at all. But you can see I have a 9-point font and it's fitting in. I've been debating going lower. Let me see if I think that each of these is an individual number. Yeah, let me change the 5 and drop it down to a 6 is about the smallest it'll go. So the other thing to remember, 30, I don't think so, 6. The other thing to remember is, say you've got it set at a size 10 and it's too big. You can type in here, I'm going to just select the 10 and put in 9, and it goes to 9. I believe I can even put in, let's put in 7 point, whoops, not a comma, 0.5, and then hit enter. And you can get in between sizes. I don't know what the 30 is for, but it's something that I don't. When I have this selected, you'll see it went to 7599999. So you can change this to get a bigger or smaller size if you want. When I'm doing my numbers, I'll just make one, I'll copy it and paste it, and then keep copying it till I have 1 to 10, and I'll just go to each one individually and keep them over the side here, the numbers I'll be needing, so I can just copy them from here and paste them in on here. Another thing, I haven't shown you a template or anything really, but all these things you can put on a document that you open up and copy and paste from. You could have the numbers from 1 to 10. You can have, let me back out. You'll see why I have so many layers. Whoops, I don't know what I'm doing there, but Control Y, Control Y puts you back to where you were. Control Z takes you back a whole step. Control Y doesn't take you back a step. It takes you, it redoes what you have, I guess I should say. I don't think I'm still quite awake yet. I didn't even get any tea or anything to help me. Oh, I know, I got to get my selection tool. The select, when you've got the text tool, that's the only tool. And it's that way in Adobe programs and all. There's not a keystroke that you can get back to your other keys. You have to go and select from the list here on this side, and I can get my select tool. I need to unselect that number. Now I can back out. Oh, this is one of the clean ones. I cleaned it up. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Sorry about that. Let's go look at, let me see if I can make my chat box a little smaller. There we go. So I hope that helps you out, Katia and Kathy, with your text. Okay, I'm just going to Control Shift L for layers, and here I've got my panels back again. I'm just going to down here. See, I got a grid on the bottom, tatted sample, ring size sample, and versions. I think versions is where all the other stuff is that I had on here. I guess all my other samples aren't on this sheet. What all these are individual things. That's one of the things I learned. Now, this is my, where is it up here? Row 3, and it's actually row 2 to 2 and 3. It used to say center, but I think this has all my things so far on it, except for these. No, even this outer one is on it. It's all on this row 3. One of the things I have found out is, I'm going to go up to the top and make a new layer. Playing and add it. If I want to put things on a different layer, you can do that. I am going to make a copy of this and just paste it. Remember, when you paste, if you're just copying and pasting it, deselect what you copied and go out here. Otherwise, it'll paste in there and get grouped with something sort of. They get stuck together. I could take this, and it's showing me that it's on this layer right here. My playing layer is below. We have context-sensitive menus like most programs, and why I've never used it while we're working here, I don't know, but this is one of my topics for today. I have this selected, and if I right-click on it, it gives me choices here. Here we go. I would clicked off of it. If I click right on it with a right click, I get all of these possibilities. And down here, right here in this blue, move to layer. If I click on that, it tells me which layer would you like to put that on. I'm going to put it on my playing layer, which is already selected, maybe because it's the newest one, but I could select any of these layers, my grid, my sample, and then I say move, and it is now, see, it jumped below the main playing layer. It's a sub-layer below it. But the other thing, if I undo that, you can always click on it in here and drag it down there and put it inside the playing folder. So you can drag these, but sometimes to drag something, if you've got something up here and you want it on one of these other layers, it's easier to right click on it and select. Notice we've even got group on here, hide selected objects, object properties, layers. Here's your layers and object. So you've got a lot of choices there. So I always think to use that. And all this time we've been working, I don't think I've used it once. I don't think I even thought about it, and I don't know why. So that's one thing new, and how you can move layers. Another thing I've realized, with things that are grouped like this, I still got my, oh, here's my rotation point way out there. I'm going to go zoom in on this. Now, some things, if you've been working with clones or duplicates, I find if I go, oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups now, to ungroup them, I guess maybe I need to be on my playing layer. Select it. Notice I'm trying to ungroup it. If I say Object, Ungroup, it's not doing it. So what I have found is that anything you're working on, like say I wanted to select one of these down here. If I go to my node tool and select it, I might have shown this last week. Now it's, oh, you know what? Anybody have an idea of what I haven't done? Anyone? Why I'm not getting it to work? Let's get some guesses going here, people. And while you're thinking about that for a minute, I'm going to go grab my water. And if you just heard some background noises, that was me getting ice. Ungroup, yes, that's exactly it, Kathy. Now let's hope that that does it for me, like I'm thinking. I'm going to go to Object. Well, not Ungroup. I tried that, remember? I tried Ungroup here. Ungroup, and that didn't work. But it's a similar thing. It is objects, remember, especially if we actually just pull a square out or pull a circle out, they're just objects. They're not editable. I have to go up to the Path menu and say Object to Path. Now, let's see if this works. There we go. Sometimes when you combine elements and things, they are hooked together. Now, when I select, I still get the whole thing. But if I'm going to hit N and get my node tool, I can select individual things out of here and get the nodes. Now, if you click and get the nodes and you do nothing else, don't click or anything. I feel like I've said that before, so maybe I showed you this. Just hit select, go up to pick your selector tool or use the keyboard S. Now, I can, let's see if I can do this. Okay, now I went up and went back from, after I selected it with the node tool, I went back and got my selection tool, and now I can move it and manipulate it. So if you're ever stuck with a group of things, you can't ungroup them, go to the path, object to path. To be editable, any object has to be a path. Just like when we do a square or a circle from our thing here. All we have are these three settings, but they're not actually indicating nodes because this is an object. When I go up and do path, object to path, and then then I hit my N key for my node tool. Now I've got 4 editable nodes. So that makes sense to you? I hope that this is something that may help you out, um, because I know it did for me. And once you've got it, I'm going to have to go back. See, now I'm a group, even though this one is moved. Maybe I got to take my little circle out of here. I again have to select my node tool, and I can go to this. Now at this point, I can even edit it. Um, and I see that this particular one isn't even because I didn't have it rotated right. And now I'm not being able to rotate it, but it makes more sense. Good. I can change it and do whatever I want with it now. So that's another thing. What else was I? Any more questions now that I'm on here and starting to work with it? Um, my numbers, now they are grouped. I just ungrouped them. I'll go to this little one and, oh, I know. I need forgot I need my text tool. And I can just double click on it and select it. And I'm going to backspace and I thought I was getting rid of the minus sign, but there we go. Now it's back. And I had a list made and I don't know where in heck it went. I'm trying to get more organized. So, what other things if I run into? I'm finding for myself, I am using the um, stamping around. Does everybody remember how to do that? Wrong piece to go back. It's going to make a copy of that. Move it over here and use that for my, whoops. And I know this is going to be in the way. Do I have I'll bring it down here to work. I can either make a duplicate or a clone, remember? So I'll just duplicate it. And now I'll click it again. And when you're making copies or duplicates or clones, the one you've just made and the duplicate is on the top. We have different layers which have all our paths for the things that are on that layer. But on the page itself, there are different levels. Like this duplicate, whoops, I didn't get a duplicate. I'm not getting a clone or a duplicate of that, and I don't know why. I don't think it's a clone or duplicate itself. Oh, there we go. I got a duplicate. All right. So this is the one that was on top. This one on the right. Now, if it was here and I was trying to select the one on the bottom, I might not be able to get it. At the moment, it seems to be easy to do. But if you've got something covered that you're not able to select, you can go up here to Object. Down here, this is the same menu where you have Group and Ungroup. You can raise the one that's selected to the top. You can raise it one level. You can lower it, or you can lower it to the bottom. Like if I lowered it to the bottom, then when I select, I'll probably get the bottom one because the bottom one became the top one. So that's another thing we hadn't talked about. I think that's really about it. I don't have a lot tonight. I was hoping maybe somebody had questions and can tell me anything more you want to work on. Do you want me to demonstrate just working on a pattern again, on a different pattern? Maybe a pattern that's not symmetrical like this. I really want to, like I said, work on my birds again. And I can draw some of those and we can do some more. Anything you want practice on, resize that number to the same size of the others. That is what you finally started to get when cloning. You were unlinking it, then it didn't change the other things. Yeah, now if I make a change, they all change. Yeah, that is a case of just continually practicing and trying over again to experimenting to see what about what you're doing isn't working. I know working with the clones is different to get used to, and sometimes you can even be thinking you're cloning when actually you've hit maybe Control D for duplicate rather than the Alt D for a clone. Is it possible to take the master of the clone and put it in its own layer? Oh yes, you can put I'm quite sure you can. An asymmetrical pattern? Wonderful. I'll do that. I have a lot of different things I could that I've started and never finished. You probably know by now, I'm known for my heart's desire, and I had a small booklet of mostly very simple patterns, except for a few like heart's desire and a big couple snowflakes that are more than just beginner patterns. And I start a lot of designs. I love coming up with them and I love drawing them and I love starting them. And then I get off on something else and don't finish. And that's my goal for this year. I've set that as a goal before and not actually done it. So this year, and ask me about it occasionally. Hopefully, it'll prod me to keep going. I have some large seahorses that I'd love to finish. And one of those patterns might be a great one to diagram. I don't think I've even begun diagramming it. And I'll work on my bird first. So we'll work with an asymmetrical design. And I think sometimes like that, if you're watching as I'm working, different problems and things will come up that we can discuss as we go. Does that sound good to everybody? Now I had this, wasn't a clone, but it was a duplicate. You know, if this is going to be interesting, I'm going to take this one because I'm thinking, how would you work with it if it's on a different level? But you can have more than one window open, you know, but I don't think they are going to interact together. Okay, I'm going to take this one. Let's see if I can make a clone of it. I'm just going to, I'm going to use my menu to clone it. Create clone. Okay. Now I should have a clone. No, I don't have a clone. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't move the clone. I have to change this one. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to take this clone. I'm going to go up here and make a new layer. Name it clones. Okay. And here I have, oh, my duplicate is on this layer. Oh, I need to select this. I'm going to right click, move to layer, clones. Okay. Now here it is on my clones layer. Let's see what happens when oh, it's still okay. So you could keep your clones so you'd always know which clone was which on its own layer. And it's still, no matter what layer your duplicate's on. Now let's see. I'm just going to go down farther and back out. This is my clone. This is my clone. And what I could do is lock the clone layer while I don't know if I can lock it while I'm using it. But let's see if I can lock that. This is a clone, and it should be the one then that, oh, here, I need to set my rotation down here somewhere to rotate around. Let's see if, oops, let's see. Let me go back to this one. Whoops, I locked that layer. I don't know if I can duplicate this. Remember, you just have to hit the space bar. Now this is on a different layer than my clone. Ooh, I'd like that to be a flower. I originally thought instead of a doily, I was going to change it and make one side more flat. Oops, I want to. And so this would be the beginning of my flower, and the stem would come out over here. I'd have some kind of a base right here. Oh, this is another thing. See this strange shape I've made? And it is a path because I use nodes. I can select all three of them, and I can go up here and use my little icons up here. And if I hit the very far right one, the smooth, it's going to smooth out that. And I was asked about, why am I creating my own and not using Robin Perfetti's Tatting by the Bay? That's the whole name. Um, and she used to be in the design class, and we would all talk about Inkscape together. And she made her videos. Now, what I'm doing here, a lot of it, like the stamping and rotating and all, she did not have in hers. That's why I'm not actually, hers were almost everything in her videos I have actually covered in what I've been doing. And that's why I'm going on and doing more, because those are things that aren't covered in hers. And her instructions are really great. And if you don't know her, I think I've pulled up her site before. It's always good when you're learning to get information from more than one source. And there are all different ways of working. And maybe some of the ways I'm showing, you'd be better off working another way. Or communication is a really important topic. And years ago, actually, when I worked at a fabric store, I was a supervisor, and they sent me to in Boulder, Colorado. There is and I live farther away now, but I used to live only 20 minutes from there. And there was a company called Career Track, and they sent me to a communications. so that as a supervisor, I could talk to the people under me and have better communication when we talk about things. Every day before we started work, I do a little um, talk on a topic, and it's one of the most useful things I have ever gone to. And they talked about how, like, what I am saying to you, the words I'm using are maybe cultural from my background. They're from West Michigan area, words like we always used kitty cat, and a friend of mine, I couldn't figure out what she was talking about. She was talking about something being cattywampus. I'm thinking, what is cattywampus? and, and it was kitty corner. And I should have made the connection when but I had to ask her what she was from Boston. So the area you come from and the local, even dialects or the local words that you use for things, and all your experience, all your background experience. Like what I say and what I think I'm saying may not be exactly what you are hearing because your understanding comes from your background and experiences and culture. So it's really interesting when you get into that. And so even the ways of learning, the way I'm teaching, um, may not be the best for you. So what I was going to do is pull up, I guess I need a new window. Here it is down here. I'm just going to put in Getting by the Bay. There we go. It's already in my thing as a selection, Inkscape tutorials. She did stop making them, but she's got up to 11 of them. Automatic replace and drawing a teardrop shape. She does do, I don't know if she's the one, no, I think it came from another video. But anyway, she's got some good tutorials to go through and see what maybe it's something. I don't think it probably would be something I don't know, although it might be something I don't use. I'm going to go back to this now. um, and the reason I was going to do that is I'm going to select the pen tool. And I've seen people, and it is a tatter who was using a grid in the background. So say I have a grid paper in my background that I can say, page grid. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's go zoom in there. If I just click and make straight lines, a teardrop is kind of shaped like this. The base is wider, and then it's got a center part, and then it gets smaller. Now, because I drew it with a pen tool, it does have nodes, so I'm going to get my node tool and select it. Now, it's got these 5 points. If I drag around it and select all 5 points, go up here to Auto Smooth, I've got like a teardrop shape. It's upside down, but it is very symmetrical. But it does I can make this a point if I want to. Remember, I can make it a point either by, now let's see, if I have that node selected, I want to make sure both handles are working together. So this third one that's got the little node with the 2 handles sticking out each side, if I click that, I can make sure that my handles are symmetrical and they'll close to, I need to hold my control key to keep them, whoops, in line, and I can make a point. Otherwise, what I usually do is just select it and go up to this first choice, make it an angle. The only thing with that is, as you can see, there's no handles on it. An angle corner does not have a handle. I can give it back its handle. Let's see if I can remember. Make selected node smooth. Yeah, that one gives it the handles back again. So that was another thing I don't know if I'd covered before, is drawing a squared off geometrical shape and using your smooth tool to make it into a smooth design. I keep coming up with topics to talk about, don't I? That does tend to happen as things come up. I don't think I got a real mess to clean up there, but they should all be on one level. Thank you for that question about putting it on your clones on another layer, because I've never seen that anywhere, heard about doing that, and it obviously works. And that way you can always go back and find which clones you have just by, well, I could label it. I could label what this piece represents to me. Or you could just, unless you have too many clones, you can just select it. Oh, I locked my clone. So here, I'll unlock it here, my layer, select it, and notice when you select it, it highlights on your layers level. So we may just end a little early tonight. Is there anything else you'd like to ask or comment on? And does that help you? Hopefully what the information I've given you um, helps you in some way. And next week we will start an asymmetrical pattern, and I'll show you too how I would take a photograph of something and turn it into an outline design. And that makes me feel really good to know now ahead of time what I'm going to work on for next week. Sounds great? Wonderful. Well, please play in your program. Oh, and I'm going to reactivate a Facebook page that I have. Let me see if I can get it up here. Oops, and find it. That's my son and daughter-in-law. They have taken a cruise, but I think they're back now in Texas where they started. And I don't know if I can find it in my, let's see last, okay. Tatting Designers class. Now this isn't Tatting Designers. I used to have a Tatting Designers page, and I changed the name to Tatting with Threads. And now someone else is using the Tatting Designer's name, but it's no longer me. But the Tatting Designers class, I had started one time, and you can see there really is not much activity on it. It's way old. There's a post by Tammy on there. But this is my class page, and I want to reactivate that for us. And I know that some of you may not want to show your doodling or anything with your pages that come out looking like this. you know, but I would like to see them. I'd love to have you email them to me at the sktattingclasses@gmail.com. And or I'm going to invite you all. This is a group that I have to invite people. I will invite each of you who are regular attendees to this group, and you can post anything you want on it. Oh, there's more from people in the group. I don't know what that is. That's not mine. And here's some things Nanetta posted way back in 2020. So there are things in here. Now this is one of Muskan's heart, and her design process, first trial with prototype pattern. Muskan and Nanetta were both regular members of the design classes. I started them back in 2010. So there have been a lot of people who have been in the classes and contributed, but are no longer attending now because of time schedules or different things. I think it's for Nanetta, the classes as the time zones, hers where she is are opposite. So I'm going to start this group so you can post anything and not feel like, oh, this looks really weird. Nobody's going to be interested in seeing this. But I think we all are here. And just maybe jot down a problem you're having, show it, and tell us what problem you're having with it. So that's all for tonight. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. And we'll go again. So it's wonderful. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye. And now I have to find my YouTube. Here we go to end the stream.